Okay, here we go. Tonel Beach, we're back, and there's a lot less sand than usual. I don't know if you can kind of see, but basically all up there's all the rocks. There's rocks in the middle now. The little rock in the middle has got bigger, there's more of them. The little rock down the end has got more of them. Obviously we still got the big one in the middle. We got some gusty old wind. I've got a 5.0 black tip. I've not used the black tip for a bit. I've been on the Evoke, so just to, I get a lot of questions asking about both, and I think it's sometimes good to kind of refresh your memory of how each sail feels. And I've got an 85 Quantex board, so that's a 59 wide, a little bit shorter than the Flywave, obviously, 218. And yeah, it's like an all-round board with a more of a crossing into the sort of real world conditions, let's say. It's a little bit wider. And shorter than the Flywave. Okay, I am 80 kilos. I think I'm probably 82 at the moment. We're going to give it a spin. Obviously, if you've followed any of my stuff from Portugal and Tonel Beach before, you will know it's pretty gusty. It's a pretty funky place. You get some really good days here, but you also get a lot of tricky ones. So we will see what we get today. No guarantees, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? That's why we all windsurf. There's no easy stuff in windsurfing. Looks like Casper is out there already. He sent a WhatsApp message to the group. He was going on a 5.2. So he's on 5.2. Like I said, a lot of unknown rocks at the moment, so it's pretty low tide. It might be a tricky one. I sailed here the other day at a more higher tide and it was relatively easy. This looks much more tricky. The sand, obviously, it's not that the rocks have appeared, the sand has disappeared. So the sand is now out at the back, creating quite a meaty sandbar, which can be a bit fruity at the lower tide. So we'll see. We're still going to have the problem that behind the big rock, we're going to have a big wind shadow. So we have to be careful we don't just end up straight on the rock. It could happen. I mean, it's YouTube. We gotta... I shouldn't have said anything, actually. I should have probably started the video out the back. But I think I'm gonna... I actually don't know where the rocks are. There are a few more popped up. I don't even have my little foot protector on today. Yeah, I'm going to be right in the wind shadow here. So I'm actually going to abort that mission. I'm going to go further in. Oh, it looks like there's a few rocks here. Wow. Okay. Interesting times at Tonel Beach. It looks like we've got a few. Wow, there's rocks here as well. Okay, well, I don't even know how deep it is anymore. This could be a disastrous start to the vlog because we got a big wind shadow here behind the rock, and it's just where you're like on top of the rocks downwind of me. So this is the tricky bit. If we make it through here, we're pretty much okay, but oh shit. This is the tricky bit. Once we get to the other side, we've got power, and then we can obviously get past the rocks, but we've literally got rocks downwind of us now. We cannot afford to go in, and there is zero wind behind this rock. Oh my god. Good job it's not big. I mean, there's a few coming through, but I'm not quite sure where this wind shadow is yet. I'm still waiting for this big suction. Sometimes get it like a vacuum. Okay, we're pretty much home and dry out here. You can get hit by a wave, but you haven't got the downside of the rocks to, kill all your gear. Hopefully, with a bit more swell, we'll get some sand washing in. That would be nice. Obviously, we've got a few surfers to contend with, but obviously with these type of surfing conditions today, you're not going to get the best surfers in the world, so we should be pretty good not getting into trouble today. You see there's a set there. We're going to have to be a bit strategic. maybe let one wave go through, let the surfers catch that, and then we pick up, you know, the next one. That's kind of a good tactic if you're ever windsurfing with surfers. You know, don't take the piss. You know, there's nothing worse than someone who can catch all the waves, catching all the waves. Whether you're a surfer, windsurfer, kite surfer, winger, you know, don't take the piss, just in life in general. If you're one of the fit guys, don't take all of it. Oh, it's a bit onshore actually. Whoa! Christ. Bit of a sort of a sucky bowl there. And look, we've got a bit of a sandbank here. I'm going to try and get off. I think it's shallow. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a bit of a bank. So we're going to have some little banky, little sandbank numbers here. Could be quite an exciting session. Oh, I tell you what, without that, you know, foam mass base protector, when you're used to one and you sail bare feet and you go without, oh, it's pretty painful, because I spend a lot of my time in this type of gusty conditions, you know, with my foot on that base. It's one of the most secure places, so that's kind of interesting. There we go, we've got a few gusts. Yeah, like I said, Tonel is a very gusty place. As we get closer to the summer, the wind does clean up a little bit and you get those days where you're playing in full in and out. But I have to say, there are a lot of days like this where there are mini gusts coming through. So, you know, if you're not into gusty sailing and the surfers, don't come to Tonel Beach. That's just a warning. I don't want to get your hopes up. Can provide some pretty good stuff though. It's the Casper. Like I say, we'll try and get a few of the nuggets. There's definitely a few on that sandbank. So let one wave come through, pick up the second one. Seems to be a bit cleaner anyway. No, not this one. Not looking good. You know, we're looking upwind, we're looking downwind to see how long that wave could possibly be, because if there's no runoff down the line and it's just all balling up here, you've got nothing to ride into. You know, with this one sort of hit wave we've got at the moment, two hit, we're looking for a little bowl downwind of us or something we can accelerate into. Looks like the one behind this one should be pretty good. No, maybe not, but we're going to hit it anyway. All good? Oh, there's a bit of a light patch. Like I said, so we're going to pump onto it. We're looking down the line of that bowl. We're hopefully, well, that surfer's right there, but my plan would have been to do this. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's only a one hitter, but that's all we're getting, so don't get too worried. That one hit in wave sailing can feel pretty good. You know, we're not all spoilt to have endless down the line waves like in some places in the world. You can get them, but today, with the wind we've got, it's pretty tricky to get that type of sailing. But I'll settle for those one hitters. Good practice for your timing. You're really setting yourself up for that up and under. I mean, it's obviously easier to set up for one turn as well. You know, if you've got to read a wave and try and predict 3, 4, 5 turns down the line on a tricky wave, it is tricky. Whereas the one hit, you can just leave it late, and then tag it without too many other consequences of missing out if you only, you know, already accepted a one hit. Well, there's a little bowl. See this little bowl here? You know, what we're also looking for is is looking at where that wave is, you know, peaking. Is it consistently in a place, which it will be. Tonel, you know, the way the sand has moved around, we're looking for that shallow spot, and that does move with the waves and the storms and the tides. You know, at low tide it'll be different to higher tide or medium tide. So we're looking, keeping our eyes peeled. Oh, this is quite a good one. I'm going to let the surfers have this one though. You know, we're looking to see if the changes. I mean, I probably mentioned that in the other video. This is a decent wave. This is actually quite meaty. We might actually get a bit of ankle snapper here. It's got some chunk on it. So we're going to try and get up the line a bit, get out the way of the surfers and trying to come back down into it. A bit more onshore, you can see the wind. Here we go. Oh, yeah. So I mean, when the one turns on and you've got a board that can get up there, and plenty of bit of power definitely helps in these conditions. Having a bit of lift from the sail. All good? It's going a bit onshore, isn't it? Strange. Yeah, it's strange. It did that the other day. 5-0. It's actually, it's not too bad if the wind picks up a bit. Uh, 85. 85. Like I said, wind, Casper just confirming that the wind is going around. He said when he came out it was more side shore, but when you've got this more cross on shore you can get these more jump runs. Take off that one a bit more straight than I wanted. I mean, start attack's not my preferred way to jump. Definitely better on port tack, but still, I now live in a place that's start attack. We just don't get so many consistent jumping days. You get stuff like that, the odd jump every now and again. Apart from the summer's a bit more, like I say, consistent. You've got to take those gusts while you can get it. Okay, so like I say, we've got a bit of a line where those sort of little bowls are lining up, and I'm just using that as a transit to try and end up in that same place on every run, because that's the thing, once you know where the wave is breaking. Oh, we're going to go downtown here. We are lower, but I'm a bit late. Lower. Like I said, with the one turn wave, it's not as critical where you start. It's more critical of your reading of that one sort of setup. You know, when you're trying to get 3 turns, that's a whole different ball game. You've got to start, you've got to go. You know, you might have to go early on one bit of the wave to get to the next bit. But when you're just setting up for one hit, it's obviously pretty simple in terms of you've got one focus, you know. There's no other factors that are going in. I mean, the other factors here are surfers and the gusts. Have you got the power and have you timed it right? But in terms of you know, where you're going, you just got to keep your eye on the one prize, which is that one hit. You know, maybe you need to get speed before the one hit, and that's another thing you have to take into account. But even on a wave that's, you know, got multiple turns, set yourself up for one. That's the... Oh, we're getting a bit of pressure now. Let's take 5-0. Was on a pretty nice one there. Looks like you'll get a decent tag quite far upwind. We're going to get a little bowl here if we can keep our speed up, because it's doubling up on this inside section. This might be a bit of a cruncher. Oh no, it's doubled up. It doubled up. Didn't exactly do what I wanted to do. And again, don't be worried about that. You know, you're not going to get every call right. Even the best guys in the world, you know, can't read every wave right. But you've got to play that percentage game. Just make sure you're doing the right thing. Sometimes it won't work out, but as long as you do the right thing, that's the main. You know, as long as the idea is there, take it on the chin. And sometimes, you know, trying to do a turn on a non-perfect section is also pretty fun. You can learn a bit. Oh, here we go. Oh, I was about to say here we go, but I've run out of wind. Oh, there's some nice little ones here. So, thoughts, black tip versus the Evoke. I'll just give a quick, you know, first thoughts on going back on the black tip now. More forward pull. I've definitely got more forward pull in the black tip. There's more depth in the sail, and the sail kind of moves a bit more. It kind of inflates. So you put the pressure in the sail inflates. And I do quite like that for wave riding. It's got a bit more drive, wave riding. So in these sort of conditions now, which is one of the reasons why I rigged it up, I definitely feel I've got a little bit more pressure and a bit more drive on that bottom section to come up and hit. Again, I can't give you too many more things than that, but that's the first sort of thoughts. The Evoke is a much tighter sail. And there's more backhand pressure, which has definitely, you know, got some benefits in certain conditions. But in this, you know, conditions I've got right now, yes, the Evoke could work, you know, perfectly well. But I feel if we had the choice, and you've got them both laying on the beach in these conditions for the up and under one hitter, you know, sort of floating around like this, that instant sort of inflation and drive, I'm going to pick the black tip in these conditions. So there we go, that's it for this little video from here in Tonel. Like I said, I'm just going to bang out these ones. If it's not getting many views, no problem, but maybe a few people watch it, maybe a few people learn something or are interested. I'm going to keep putting these on the Ben Profit YouTube channel, so if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I'm going to carry on sailing. If something interesting happens, maybe I'll put it at the end of this video. So thank you, and see you for the next one. Oh, we're a bit downwind of the peak here. I really want to be downwind of the peak when it's on shore like this, because by the time you turn you run out of power, or you've got to go early. So we would have to go super early, but there was a surfer there. Oh, we could have gone. See, now this is the problem. You're doing this and the wave's just breaking and breaking behind you. You never get that opportunity to bottom turn. I always Not always. I used to do that in Tenerife a lot in the competition. Find myself downwind, you know, sailing back upwind in the competition to find a wave, and the wave would be doing exactly that. And it's kind of a vicious circle. You've got to get yourself upwind, you know, above the peak, and even though it's a bit onshore, you've got to find that speed early and try and ride it downwind into the peak. You can come like I just did then, but you have to go early, and then you'll find yourself further downwind. There you go. One more little nugget of information you might find interesting. Alright, that's it. I'm definitely going now. Oh, we're doing forward here. Whoa. 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 Forward.